All right, Robert, it's you.
Am I on? Okay, we're back. So, I was sitting here being like, should I make a shady comment about Raoul as far as doing the Sondheim?
Hold on, we may or may not be. Yeah, you're on. Sorry, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm getting a message from, we're on. Okay, thank you so much. We're on. So, insert charming thing about us, this all being a learning experience here. In case you're just now joining us, we did have to restart the feed because we tried something new, and the music and the video was really jerky and didn't work. So the only thing that's allowed to be really jerky around here is me as the host. And so if you're just now joining us, you're watching the Rhymes with Opera Rumpelstiltskin release party, which is a Zoom event, because I'm sure that none of you have had enough of those lately. And we're going to watch some clips. We're going to talk to people who helped create it, and we're going to hear some remixes from amazing electronic musicians. So, Lily, hit it. Let's watch the first video.
To live inside a gnome, living like that would be grim.
Now the two victims united as one, cursed by the witch's cruel whim.
Why would you be so cruel to the one who adores you?
Because I can.
Silly man. Because I'm a witch. And just for fun, I curse you both with a name as ugly as you. Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin.
What a crappy name!
What a crappy face! What a crappy name! Trapped inside a crooked shell.
Why should we endure?
Why should we endure this? What was our crime? Was cruelty always your design? You want to be free from my spell? Okay, just for fun, I'll give you away. You must take a child from its home. You must break the heart of its mother. Only these mean acts can save you. The love of a child, the pain of a mother, they'll lift the spell I cast. You'll once again be two, not one. Ha ha! Unless there's got to be a hitch to a deal with a witch. Listen well, accursed ones, if the mother learns your name, if she learns your name, Rumpelstiltskin, if the mother learns your name, the spell will drag you once again into this ugly ocean.
So we must become as cruel as you.
Argue with me no more, ugly no. The spell is cast, that shell is your home. Only stealing a child can change your fate.
How can a gnome in a home steal a child?
You have magic, pagan magic. it wisely, or your life will be tragic.
What kind of magic?
Magic.
You can just try into gold.
Trying to go.
Drawing gold.
Yes, try into gold. And remember, no one must ever know your name. So long, suckers.
Wow. Oh, wow. I would just like to take a moment to say the singing that was Tim Stoddard as the witch. Let me give you a little context about this video that we just saw. So obviously that was from Rumpelstiltskin, which was what we're talking about all evening long. And in this Rumpelstiltskin, the witch is lonely or whatever, and decides to first kidnap a woman. And then when she doesn't love, who's played by Elizabeth Halliday Kwan, and then when she doesn't love the witch, he kidnaps a man, me. It's my first time playing man on stage, not really. And when I refuse to, or when I love him too much, he rejects me, and he turns Elizabeth and I into Rumpelstiltskin by fusing us together, which you'll see in a later scene. So Lane Retmer, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce this evening. Oh, wow. Oh, for the magic of television. Hi. It's nice to see you. I can't hear you. Are you muted? Uh-oh. Oh no, do we have to do chat?
No.
Oh, there you are. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes. Listen, I hate that question. I feel like every Zoom meeting I'm on, at least half the people go, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm like,
are we
if
here?
we can't hear you, you'll see all of these people waving their hands saying they can't hear you. Lane, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Thanks for being here. It's nice to see you.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for having me here.
So I wanted to have you here so that you could tell us a little bit of the background of the staging for this show, because we're watching so many clips of the staging for this Rumpelstiltskin, which, by the way, is the original cast recording is available on all digital platforms as we speak. I'd just like to say that. I don't even know if I have mentioned that in this sentence. Give me a little bit of the background about because you took up this piece, and just tell me a little bit about the background of the genesis of your vision for this piece.
Sure, absolutely. It was a super fun libretto to get from you guys. It was so wacky and so fun and sincere and heartfelt. And I was like, let's have none of that. But it was I think as a cast, when we first started meeting and talking about the piece, it was like, let's make this a totally campy sort of wild romp. You know, it felt to me very much like it reminded me of like a very sloppy, fun 70s sex romp. There's a lot of like very sexual innuendo throughout the whole show, and so many crazy very farcical people running in and out, and like people becoming other people on stage. And so I kind of thought that campy nature might really serve the script well. So we went with that. And then I also work with video quite a lot. And so adding in that sort of low-tech 1970s video art feeling to it allowed us to be able to change spaces on stage in a slightly different way. So having you guys be in like two different screens and then go to one screen inside of that last scene was part of the idea of keeping with that sort of low budget, fun, campy feeling.
While still making it like I thought like a really innovative way to force two people to be smushed together even when they're off stage, the way that, you know, because it is like, if we're smushed together the whole time, are we going to just like stand there together the whole time, or be bound by 1,800 yards of stuffed pantyhose, which is another option, which we did explore, and you'll see more of that later.
Ryan Leitner's wonderful hand-dyed costumes.
Oh, I mean, like, but all joking aside, the costumes in this I thought were so spectacular.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when you first put them on, you're like, I feel weirdly naked.
That's
Luckily,
because a one-piece suit like fit to your body like glue.
Exactly. Which, in the HB Playwright Theater under the hot lights really smell good after a 2-weekend run.
Oh, delicious.
So what are you working on now?
Right now, I am working on A Turn of the Screw at the Sky Museum down in Miami, which we are still somehow trudging through and sort of hoping is going to happen in October. Although more than likely it'll get pushed to the following October. But if we do it this October, it'll be a totally video version. So it'll be sort of like the film version of the opera, which is exciting for me. To be shooting that. But so there's that going on. And currently I'm in sunny Boulder, Colorado. So it's 6 p.m. where I am. And I'm traveling out to Montana to work on a piece, the second iteration of a piece I worked on last year called Stand by Snow, which is a place-based opera, very much about sort of the politics of land, land ownership rights, water, Native American rights out in Montana. So
I saw some stills from it, and I'm excited to see more. So I assume like that's moving forward even with COVID because it's so automatically spaced out that it's safe to do that.
Well, it was a huge, part of it is that our NEA grant for this year is, we're just moving forward with it. And so we're going to continue working on that. And my idea for it this year is that we do a driving opera where we record most of everything prior. So you download the playlist to your phone, you download the music, you download, we'll probably be doing some like hidden history of Bozeman. Get in your car, put it on, drive around, and then there'll be performers in either tableaus or some things that move around the car, but it will be it'll be caravan opera.
Wow. I mean, and I think when I've talked a little bit about this, like when we've hosted the salon, like that is one of the really compelling things that I think, and I seem to be frozen. No, I'm back.
I can see you.
Okay, good. Can you hear me? One of the compelling things about like COVID time, oh my God, can you hear me? COVID time is that it's forced everybody to think so outside the box because like clearly creation's not going to stop. Clearly opera's not going to stop. It's just that we have to figure out a way to do it that is, and with you and with Rhymes with Opera, like we've been out of the box for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so, stay tuned. Lane, thank you for being here.
Oh, Robert, thank you so much for having me.
It's really nice to see you. And so in case anyone is just joining us, this is Lane Retmer. She was the stage director for the piece that you're watching. We're going to watch some more clips. And I just like to mention really quick that the set you're seeing is by Andrea Merckx. And so I just want to name check her too, because I know she's going to watch this stream and then send me a mean email. So is she? Well, I didn't say anything. Anyway, hi, Andrea. Lane, thanks for joining us. Lily, let's watch the second clip, Lily.
The biggest diamond ring
to give me something in return.
I don't have anything to give you.
But you will, soon you will. Will you pay me my price for turning straw into gold?
Not the ring, the diamond ring. I really want that ring more than anything.
No, not the ring.
What would I do?
What would I do with the ring? I want your child, your firstborn child.
He said nothing of having a child. He talked of diamonds, castles, gowns of silk. Not entrapping me with a child. When I want to be free, I want infinite possibilities. Not a child to tie me down.
A queen must bear children if you want all the things a king can provide. You will bear him a child, but first he wants the gold. I'll provide the gold.
Yes, please take the gold. He will want more, always more.
And I can make more, always more. But I must have your firstborn child. Accept my price or I am gone. And this straw will never turn into gold. And you will die tomorrow.
No, 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 don't go. Please turn this straw into gold, and I'll gladly give my firstborn child. I shall do it.
And I did.
Hey, oh wow, video too. So I have to say that every time I hear that, what would I do with a ring? And I've heard it many times as I worked on this record with Sully. I'm always like, what would I do with a ring? I just like that gag to me is like never-endingly funny. So now I'm going to ask the creators of this piece, John Clum, George Tsiquan Lamb, and Ruby Fulton to turn their cameras on so that I can see them. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. So we've got Ruby Fulton joining us from Brazil. We've got John Clum, the librettist, joining us from Chicago. And we've got George Lamb joining us from his new home in Hong Kong. I feel very worldly right now, like very, very metropolitan. I can't, Ponca City, Robert Merrill can't believe that he's talking to 3 people all over the world. And so as I mentioned, Ruby and George wrote this in tandem with each other, and John wrote the libretto. So John, I'd first like to turn to you. And I'd like to say, whose idea was Rumpelstiltskin? Was it theirs or yours, or where did this come from?
It was theirs.
It was theirs. So had you ever written a fairy tale before?
No, no, I hadn't. And when I went and looked at Rumpelstiltskin, which I haven't read in 100 years, it was 7 pages long. And I thought, oh, what are we going to do with 7 pages? And then the fun started when George said, well, but Rumpelstiltskin's going to be a baritone and a soprano. And then I had to think, well, how is that going to happen? So about the first 10 minutes of the opera is justifying Rumpelstiltskin being a baritone and a soprano. Right?
Right.
I had to create a whole story around that. And then the rest was just fun because it's so short and it's so skeletal that you can do almost anything with it. Mm-hmm. And it went through as typical working with George, and I have written an opera before, as you know, but this was working with Ruby as well, which was a joy. It meant pleasing 2 composers. It went through like 12 drafts, I think, before they said, okay, we can work with this. But it was fun, and it was a wonderful delight to do.
Well, I just really love it. I love the libretto, and I love the way that you use multiple characters. You know, everybody on stage gets to be multiple people. Yeah. And the way that we did it on stage was kind of like a play within a play, and so it let me as a singer. It let me like be so many different people and be so wild on stage in a way that I never get to be.
Well, some things got left out because one of George and Ruby's crazy ideas was that the audience was going to be the chorus.
Aha, I remember that idea.
And so one of the things I had to write was all this stuff that the audience was going to sing, which had to be very simple and very rhymey and the same melody all the way through. And all that somehow, I think George and Ruby came to their senses, and all that got left out of it. But that was the original idea.
Part of it is still in it. At the very beginning of the show, which you didn't see tonight, I teach the audience, the one story ends another. And we did turn the audience light on and goad them into singing, I think at least twice.
Yeah, that's right. But boy, there was a lot more of it, believe me, yards of it.
So Ruby and George, welcome. Hello, nice to see you both from far away.
Hello.
Hi, Robert.
Hello. So had you guys written an opera together before? You're friends from college, and you've been in Rhymes with Opera together for a very long time.
That's right. We have had a couple of operatic collaborative experiences.
I believe you
The first one was when we were seniors at Boston University, and this is a little different, but we staged a double bill chamber opera for our senior recital. But then a few years later, we co-wrote an opera called Skeleton.
Yes.
2011, way back in the day, also for Rhymes with Opera. And then we always wanted to do it again, so.
Yeah, and so this was, I didn't mention this, Rumpelstiltskin was done for the 10th anniversary year, which is why, and you know, John Clum was our board president for a long time. And so we very much kept it in the family with this work in a way that was really important to all of us, I think. What else do I want to know from you? I feel like I know so much about this already, but what would people want to know?
Well, it was really great working with Ruby and John on this, and a part of what we tried to do, we never told anyone, you know, in the program or in the audience, you know, who wrote what music. And of course, we did split things up. We weren't like, you know, in a room together writing the whole score together. We split it up, or did we? But a lot of the music, I think, and when we were thinking about it, it all germinated from one, I guess, 2-hour session that me and Ruby had up in the second floor of the Peabody Conservatory. I don't know, some months ago.
Squatting. We got kicked out, actually, as I recall.
Piano.
And you're like, we've paid enough money for this school. We get rooms in this school whenever we want to come back. Period.
Exactly. But
so did you send things back and forth to each other then after?
Well, but in that room, we came up with leitmotifs. So we came up with, you know, a system of music for each concept and each character. And so once we did that, we split up and we just used it, and hopefully it all hangs together.
And correct me if I'm mistaken. What'd you say?
Oh, I was just gonna say we could sing, if you want, we could sing a couple of them.
Sing the leitmotifs.
Like, I'm curious, like what clip we're gonna hear next. Do you know, Robert?
Wouldn't you like to know? One that I think might surprise you, actually.
Okay.
But I can't remember what it is.
It might surprise all of us.
Yeah, it's going to surprise everybody in this room, I guess. Because
one that definitely sticks is the da 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 da, which was supposed to represent like wealth, always wanting more. So you might hear that, and then there's like a pentatonic one for the child, right?
Child.
Do you remember other ones, George? Yeah, help me out.
Also, Rumpelstiltskin is throughout in the same rhythm. Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
And that is governs a lot of different things in the whole opera. Yeah.
So I mean, like, I'm failing my freshman year music appreciation class, because now that you're saying all that these leitmotifs exist in the work, I'm like, oh my God, you're right. But I've known this piece for years at this point, and this is news to me. But now that you're singing it, I completely can hear it. I think we're out of time for this interview, so I'm going to move us along. Guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for all of your work on this piece. I would be remiss if I didn't mention, in case you're just joining us, that the reason we're here tonight is that this is to celebrate Rhymes with Opera's first ever original cast album, which is for Rumpelstiltskin, our 10th anniversary piece, which these three people wrote for us. So thank you guys for being here. Lily, let's hit that next video.
So I spun more gold, and the girl with her king wearing the ring.
All hail the Golden Queen!
All hail the Golden Queen! All hail the Golden Queen! All hail the Golden Queen! All hail the Golden Queen!
So Bonnie's going to kill me for playing that, but I could not pass up the opportunity to broadcast Bonnie having an operatic cabbage baby one time during the pandemic. So you're welcome, Bonnie. We can talk about that next. Joining us now is Matthew Sullivan, known by us as Sully, who is an electronic musician and an audio engineer and a producer and a composer who is responsible for the production of the original cast album Rumpelstiltskin, which is now streaming on all digital platforms. I don't know if I've mentioned that. Sully, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Here. I know you're moving tomorrow.
I don't want to say that I don't want to accept being fully responsible, because that's just a lot. That's a lot of blame for just me.
I'm glad that you got what I was going for with that introduction, which was to imply that when this record is an abject failure, not only from a financial aspect, but also from an artistic aspect, that is on your shoulders. We figure you're young enough to deal with that fallout, and you can spring back in a way that I can't.
I think that I have yet to have my first like really massive life failure. So I'm gonna need, like a hurdle or something.
Oh, Sully, you have time. So as I mentioned, you did, though, even though you're not solely responsible for it, you did record this and produce this record.
I did.
So we recorded this. How long ago was that? Probably 18 months ago.
It was a long time, yeah.
In Brooklyn.
Yep.
And I should mention it's the Rhymes with Orchestra that's playing, our house band, and the band that was in the show is also the band that's on the recording. And then you took this recording and you did your studio magic with it. Yeah. And I'd like, okay, so, I engineer music and I produce music as well. So I'm not going to get wonky with this conversation. I was about to
let's get
talk
weird
to you about the decision that we made to do the hard panning Rumpelstiltskin left and right.
I actually really like that thing. All right.
Let's talk about it. When you're listening to this cast album, which is available on all digital platforms, listen with it headphones.
And so part of why I think that is interesting is because sort of how all this started was I was just in my apartment one night and I got a text from Ruby, and she was like, oh, there's a show tonight. I saved you a ticket. Come and see. Little did I know that there was a very sort of pleasant, positive, I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, ulterior motive to to let me see the show. But then also sort of afterwards we were hanging out and she sort of asked me about doing the record, and Ruby sort of got me helped me get my first ever job at a studio, sort of making a recommendation to a friend of hers. And so I went into the process having gotten to see the show performed live. And my thought was how the hell are we on a stereo album going to sort of show the listener that Robert and Elizabeth are huddled under a dirty blanket?
Okay, first of all, it was yards of nylon stockings.
It looked like a dirty blanket. Right?
No, but I think that your point is an important one. It's how do you take something that's so alive on stage? And as we're seeing in these clips, this was a very raucous production and very alive. And I think that as a producer, then what I'm hearing from you is that it's how do we replicate that in a very controlled studio setting? Right,
because I personally believe that, all recorded music is essentially a lie. So you may as well make it a really good lie.
Yeah.
But I also think that there is so when I started going into this, my thoughts were not towards how can we accurately sort of give someone listening to the album the same experience as seeing it live, but this art was made for the stage. And I think that my job as a producer is just to take something that an artist already has and just sort of transfer it to tape, to transfer it to sound. And so I mean, some things I didn't do a lot of time aligning, sort of fudging things so that all the beats match, because you had sent me the sort of footage from the production, and it's a live production. I'm not going to have everything be super clean and time aligned and be shifting everyone around, because what I want to get on the record is your performances, because what we have is exceptionally talented professional singers and a good band.
Right.
Why, so that was one of the things that I was just trying to preserve what you guys sort of just naturally put down.
Well, there's that Ani DeFranco lyric that is people used to make records in the record of an event, the event of people playing music in a room. Do you know that lyric? I'm aging myself. But it's like, it's talking about how a record used to be a record of people playing music. And I think that that's what I'm hearing from you. It's like, you know, you weren't trying to replicate the stage production. You're trying to make an artifact that reflects the liveliness of the piece in a different way.
Yes, and I think that even sort of going into the process with like some of the challenges in place where like there was one day of tracking for the band, and then we tracked Tim's vocals at one studio, and then Rumpel's, and then Bonnie. But I think that you guys, you know, just from having done a stage performance, were able to sort of like, hear each other's parts and get into that place and sort of you know, even interact with the ghost of the audio, and sort of be like singing along to someone who is not there, which current times that actually sort of makes me think, of trying to like, everyone's trying to do it now.
That's been, as I've heard the record in the last couple of days, you know, since it's now out on all digital platforms, since I've heard it, I've had a unique experience to me because I was inside it so long, and now I'm able to hear it mixed, and I'm able to hear the four voices. Like when I was singing this on stage, I could never hear the choral aspect of so much of these things. Like when all four of us are singing together, so much of it is so choral and the harmonies are so beautiful, but I was so busy trying to catch my own fucking part that I was inside it too much to hear it. So that's been it.
I remember like, I think that the first time I had shown you rough mixes, like the first rough mix that I sent was of like the Queen's Transformation. And you said something like, oh my gosh, like it sounds like so incredible. Like, what did you do? And I hadn't really done that much. It was just that like, you can, on the record, you have a chance to just have the orchestration there. And like, Ruby and George did such an incredible job, you know, and just sort of like orchestrating these things. And I think that in the same way, say part of the orchestration job is to keep the band and certain singers like out of each other's way. Like my job as a producer and, you know, going into mixing things is just like to get amazing performers in a room and stay out of the way, and then try not to fuck it up later.
Well, I have good news for you. You didn't.
I think we managed to pull this one off.
You pulled it off. So I would just like to, you know, in front of everybody again, say, Sully, you did a beautiful job with this record.
Thank you.
I hope that, you know, I get to continue working with you and continue hearing your work, because
it's been a real pleasure.
You have a wonderful talent for composition too, obviously, but yeah, really wonderful job, and thank you for all your hard work.
Very kind, Robert. It's a pleasure.
Lily, let's hear video 4. Watch video 4.
We're in a show. Please.
Once in a while, what is that to
So that was the very end of the opera, and that was one of the places that I was just talking with Sully about the beautiful choral arranging and the choral singing that we got to do in this show. And also that gave me a chance to revisit my terrifying smile that I got to do at the very end of it. Like, I was trying to be like as killer clown as humanly possible. So now, as usual, I'd like to welcome to the stage, to the Zoom stage, Elizabeth Halliday-Kwan and Bonnie Lander, who were 3 of the 4 singers in this performance. As you saw, that there were 4 singers and 2 supers. And so we're 3 of the 4. Tim couldn't be with us tonight. So hang on one sec. I'm gonna just do something really important. Okay, so Tim couldn't be with us tonight. So I'm gonna just, okay. Welcome to the stage, Tim Stoddard. It's just all of the singers. Mwah. Tim, you're really good at standing still. It's kind of amazing, actually. Just beautiful singing, by the way. So anyway, hi singers. You knew I was gonna pull some shit when you were on stage, right?
Hi, Robert.
It's nice to see you, Bonnie. I hope that you enjoyed me sharing you giving a cabbage baby, you giving birth to a cabbage baby with the world again.
It's in my dreams, you know. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I figured if you got like the most beautiful, you know, aria in the whole show, the Queen's Transformation aria, which you can hear on Spotify because it's available on all digital platforms.
Spotify, you say? Is it on?
It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on Apple Music. It's on Amazon Music. It's on Deezer, whatever the fuck that is. If you're the person who uses Deezer, send me a message. I would love to know that. So singers, Elizabeth, you were the one who was tethered to me with the pantyhose the entire show.
I was. That was
Bonnie, you played the princess and the girl.
I was the girl who became the queen.
You were the girl who became the queen. You were never a princess.
No. Focus.
Noted. Focus. Not relevant. Focus. Yeah, exactly. You know, guys, I'm having a hard time figuring out what to ask you because I've known you for so long. Just for background for the audience, you know, we're in our 12th season with Rhymes with Opera, and that means that I've been making music with these women for a long time. Elizabeth and I have gotten to kiss on a movie and then blow up. Bonnie and I, to my knowledge, has not gotten to make out yet.
Yeah, Elizabeth is the only one who's made out with both of us in different productions.
That's correct.
I think that's really telling. We recorded all of this separately, and I'd like to know a little bit about your experience as Sully was just talking about, a little bit about your experience, like recording it kind of in a vacuum. Like Bonnie, you were with me and Sully recording your parts, but what was it like to sing that role just kind of by yourself?
It was great. No.
Thanks a lot. Wow, I should have known.
You know, doing any kind of removed recording process is always a little strange because it's sort of like performing with a tape part. If you've ever done any like electroacoustic performance, you have fixed media that you are working with. So first time you do it, it's almost like you're getting used to the fixed media, and then the second time and third time, you can create a more natural and intuitive sound.
Well, and I was so grateful that Robert, you and I got to record together. I think this had been Sully's thought also, was that since the two of us were one character, that we would really benefit from recording it together. And that was so fantastic because then at least we had each other to play off of and I could sort of pretend it was, you know, some sort of live performance, which always makes it easier for me. I have a weird relationship with recording. I don't love it.
I think that I think that if your performance doesn't change unintentionally when you know that mic is on, then you're either a better professional than I am or you're lying. Like, you know, I will sing one way if I know that I'm not being recorded, and then I'll get like right in front of my mic, and you know, it is constantly fighting the urge to like clam up or self-critique or like be like, this is, you know, for posterity.
And nobody's clapping. Nobody claps for us. It's very confusing.
Yeah, well, I'm getting used to that here in Zoom town.
Oh, right. I'm just clapping for myself most days.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. You distracted me. I had a really good question for you, Elizabeth.
Oh, sorry.
Might be gone. It might be gone, but we can still talk about the rest of the cyber season. I'd like to do that while I have you guys here, because this is not the last event of our cyber season. If you're just joining us, this season, we've had a cyber season that's been going on since May, and it's been a series of online events that have been free to the public, and also an educational component where George and Ruby got to teach some composers who are earlier in their careers and work with them really closely about the creation of opera, and have some special guests, including Lane Retmer, who you saw earlier and who did a talk with the composers. So that's been happening this summer. You can see all of that on our website. You can go to rhymeswithopera.org and check out all of the past events for the cyber season. And coming up in September, we have the capstone of the cyber season, which is going to be the 1-minute operas. And Elizabeth, that's kind of your baby. Do you want to talk about it?
I'd love to, yeah. Well, the three of us and George and Ruby, the 5 founding members of Rhymes with Opera, had a great time putting our heads together in April and trying to come up with, what do we have to offer in this new environment, and what are things that we can experiment with, and what are we excited to put out there that's all like within our mission and our vision, and it's been a really great time. And one of the things that is so important to us, we do primarily exclusively commissioned works. We've worked with a ton of composers over the last 12 years, and we thought, well, let's reach out to all of them and see if people are interested in writing 1-minute operas for the 3 of us, for the 3 singers. And we got really amazing responses. And so on September 12th, the sort of finale concert of the cyber season is going to be the 3 of us singing 26 1-minute operas, some of which are self-accompanied. I have to learn how to play the finger cymbals. Super psyched.
I think you go like this. Oh no, I'm crushing Tim's.
Oh, Tim!
head. Oh. You just go like this, finger cymbals.
Got it. I got it.
It's like just about as hard as the clave, which everybody in my grade school wanted, when you had musical instrument day in grade school musical. No, so just join us for you online. You can find out more information on rhymeswithopera.org. You can watch that event as you are here, either on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, whatever that is. Bonnie will explain it eventually. It's for kids, although I think my boyfriend uses it as well, not a child. And so 1-minute operas in September, world premieres. Not to toot Rhymes with Opera's horn.
Do it.
But 26 1-minute world premieres online.
It's pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet. So guys, stick around for now, because I'm going to talk about the remixes and I want emotional support. Wait, let me get rid of Tim. I feel too bad. It's too shady. I hope that he watches this and knows that it is from a place of love. Okay, there. So next up is, this was not my idea. This was, I think, Ruby Fulton's idea, maybe. And it was an idea that originally I was like, that's insane. That's way too hard to pull off. But what we did was that we sent the stems from, and I'm sorry, technical term, I cannot expect everyone to know that. We sent the separate tracks for the whole Rumpelstiltskin to a bunch of different composer friends of Rhymes with Opera. And so those composer friends, namely Anna Metters, Ruby Fulton from Rhymes with Opera, me from Rhymes with Opera, Matthew Sullivan, who you just saw, Jason Charney, friend of Rhymes with Opera, and Michael Schenk, another friend composer. They have turned in 6 different, completely different remixes of this record. And when I think it was Ruby said, we should have a dance party and we should do remixes of the songs. Maybe that was Elizabeth that said it. Whatever it was, I was like, that's insane. We could never do that. It's too hard. And so instead what we did was do it. And so Matthew Sullivan, the recording engineer, really graciously mastered these remixes. And I'd also like to mention that on August 7th, thank you, yes. So on August 7th, Bandcamp has been doing this thing where it it will waive its artist fee on certain days. And so we're actually going to release these remixes via Bandcamp on that day. And 100% of the proceeds from those remixes will be donated to charity. I don't know if I'm allowed to say which charity. I'm not going to say which charity.
You'll just have to wait until August 7th.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. You wait till August 7th. It'll be announced on the website. So like I said, these are 6 different remixes. And we had just hoped that for this part of the show, you know, I'm not going to be back. You're done seeing me on camera, which I'm sure you're all pleased about because I've been seeing plenty. So this is going to be 6 different remixes by Anna Metters, Matthew Sullivan, Jason Charney, Michael Schenk, Ruby Fulton, and myself. But, you know, my gay bar DJ alter ego DJ Executive Realness, my moniker that I've now had for like 12 years, terrifyingly. And so my instructions for you when it comes to this dance party are as follows, and I need you to listen very closely. Please be very carefully. Bonnie, I need you to listen.
I'm here. I'm listening.
You to turn up your volume or put on really good headphones. Take off your pants and or shirt after you turn your camera off, obviously. And yeah, just let, you know, you're welcome to go about your life, but turn this music up in your house and let this music, you know, take you into the rest of the weekend.
Take some pictures, take some videos, throw them in the
internet. Yes, thank you. Take some, what should the hashtag be, Elizabeth?
Hashtag Rumpelrealness.
Oh, Rumpelrealness, I like that. And probably if you Instagram it, you should @Rhymes with Opera.
Yes, please.
Shameless plug. Rhymes with Opera, @Rhymes with Opera.
Virtual hug to the best dance video.
So that we can reshare. Is that a thing? Reshare your dance party video and or picture.
Celebrate you, celebrating us.
You know, please don't send us any dirty pictures. I've had enough of those for today. If you're pantless, then blur it out is my only request.
We've got those emojis.
Bonnie,
I don't want to check my last few emails then, Robert.
Oh, no, I've already forwarded them to the FBI. So, okay, without further ado, these are Rumpelstiltskin remixes.
Thanks,
so hang out. Oh, wait, before you do this, I want to mention if you're on Facebook, some of the remixers are in the Facebook chat room and are going to be taking your heaps of praise for their remixes over on Facebook chat. So let's roll this remixes. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Check out Rumpelstiltskin on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, and all of that.
I feel imprisoned in this. I feel imprisoned in this.
Anymore.
wish, 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 happy, 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 happy. Wish happy, wish happy, 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 happy,
and you can do anything. I love you. You are beautiful. And you can do anything.
Once upon a time in a land far away, there lived a wicked witch. Some witches are healers, some destroy. This one was simply a bitch, bitch. The child is mine.
Anything. The pop.